pro-life and very critical of Islamic terrorism. That's his national security advisor. CIA director, Congressman Mike Pompeo, to head up the entire CIA. You know, he's a Christian who's fought very hard against the so-called separation of church and state. That's been a passion issue of his, taking on groups like the ACLU. As a born-again Christian, he's very conservative. As a matter of fact, he's a Tea Party champion. And that's who Donald Trump has picked to head up the entire CIA. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development is probably going to be Ben Carson. It's not completely confirmed yet, but at this point it's looking like it's liable to be Ben Carson. Bottom line, folks, what he's got so far is a very conservative, heavy administration. There are some moderates and centrists in there, and there are some political enemies of his, and there's even a Democrat in there so far. But I got to tell you, I didn't expect it to be this conservative at this point. Now, who knows? Maybe he's going to name all, liberals the rest of the way. But I really, at this point, didn't expect it to be this conservative. Politico just ran this headline today, quote, Trump's conservative dream team, it's the most conservative cabinet since Ronald Reagan, end quote. This is Politico, and Politico is a left-wing news site. So, folks, I'm not saying that Donald Trump isn't going to disappoint me and conservatives. From time to time, he's going to. But so far, he's doing exactly what he promised he was going to do. And he's doing exactly what I predicted he's going to do, name more conservatives and liberals. And actually, he's doing more than I predicted because so far he hasn't even named any liberals. He's only named really strong conservatives, mostly, and then to the most important key positions. And then the positions that aren't as important, he's named moderate centrist conservatives and Republicans. And the one Democrat he's named so far has been a 3-star general who happens to be pro-life, but a Democrat. I'm very pleased with what I've seen from Donald Trump so far. I am. Well, we'll see what happens with Secretary of State. That's going to be an important position. And if he does name Mitt Romney to this, it's going to be a very controversial decision. You're going to get a lot of Republicans upset with Donald Trump. I don't want him to name Mitt Romney. Don't misunderstand me. But if he does name Mitt Romney, I'm not going to be as upset as a lot of Trump's supporters are, because it's another centrist moderate who was a strong anti-never Trumper. But this is Donald Trump reaching across the aisle to extend a hand of friendship to the people that were his worst enemies, to say, hey, let's make up, let's get along, and let's work together. Folks, I think that's presidential. Now, like I say, I'd rather see somebody more conservative and somebody who is more of a Trump supporter than Mitt Romney as Secretary of State. I would rather see that. But I also remember, if Mitt Romney is named, he still has to work for Donald Trump. Donald Trump's still the boss. He's still the one that's in charge. So we'll watch and see what happens with that. All right, you're listening to The Bob Dutko Show.